Good morning, O'Neill Hill. I'm talking about signs and wonders in the heavens. Signs and wonders in the heavens. Jesus says, in the last days, there will be lying signs and wonders in the heavens. So what signs in the heavens? You have to open the Bible up and look for signs in the heavens. You don't have to look very far. You just have to open the first page, and it says Genesis, and it tells you a story of creation. But the story in Genesis 2 is different than the story in Genesis 1. Genesis 1 is not the same as Genesis 2. They're different. They differ for some reason. So in Genesis 1, God created man, and he was to roam the earth, and he was to eat from every tree in the garden. But in Genesis on the earth. But in Genesis 2, he created Adam, and Adam was to till the fields. It's debatable what till the fields is, because Adam is alleged to have had wings, and he was alleged to have lived above our heads in another place where Eden was, and that's the way to Eden is guarded now by a 40 angel with a sword. Could be the sun and the solar flares. And whatever he done, whatever him and Eve done, they were kicked out of heaven. They were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Enoch lives in the Garden of Eden now, watching everybody, judging the generations. He's a judge. Moses returns as a judge as well. And Moses is your accuser if you're really evil. Moses. So basically, how could Moses be your accuser? Well, there's a statue of the devil as Moses. Moses is alleged to have horns and stuff like that. And a lot of people think that Satan is the devil, so they go and they do rituals and they call up the devil, thinking they're calling up Satan. But they're not calling up Satan, because Satan doesn't need to be called up. Satan is up above your head. So they're calling up someone, and he's a witness against them. So in the last day, in the judgment, these people who are so-called Satanists or devil worshippers, they'll call up who they think is Satan, but he's actually red, ruddy and strong, in the likeness of a man, similar to what it says in the book of Daniel. He appeared to me in the likeness of a man. So you can imagine the devil, he looks a bit like a man. Even he's a very old man. He's red, he's ruddy, he's strong. So he will be a witness against you if you're involved in Satanism, or if you're involved in any shit like that. Some people call him up and sell their souls. They just maybe they just had enough, and they called someone up and they can't take anymore, so the devil turns up and gives them what they want, and they're happy. And then but Satan is totally different. Satan is green and he's a serpent. Why is Satan green and he's a serpent? Well, Satan, as far as we can work out, he changed something in the Bible. I might be wrong. So here's where it starts off. Jesus says, in the last days there will be lying signs and wonders. So what signs in the Bible? So as soon as you open the Bible, it said God created the light and day and stuff like that, and the firmament of the water, and then he created, out of the blue, he created a big light and a small light. It doesn't even sound like the same words. A big light and a small light for signs in the heavens of days and nights, but they were already created. So there's signs. Yeah. So anyway, God went to sleep. God went to sleep on the seventh day, and Jesus turned around and says, while the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man, and while he was sleeping, this is God, he was asleep, the enemy crept in and sowed tares amongst the wheat. Tares are parasites and hybrids. They look like me and you, but they're not like me and you. So that's Jesus telling you in a parable that while God was asleep, on the seventh day, someone snuck into the garden and done something. So then God comes down and he says, because you have done this, you will crawl on your belly and eat the dust of the earth. Adam and Eve got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. There was a big curse on the whole thing. So the curse, where'd you get a curse from? Well, it says in the Bible that if you change one word of the Bible, there's a curse put on you. So if someone that was supposed to be guarding Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden while God was sleeping, done something, made tares, and taught Adam and Eve to do some sort of blood ritual or something like that, Eve took a bite out of Adam's apple or something like that, because it says in the book of Enoch that man is an apple. And the blood, Jesus says the blood is the life. So the tree of life, the blood is the life, so these are all clues. So basically, signs in the heavens. The Prince of Tyre said, well, ascend my throne. He said, God said, this is God exposing his plan, what he said. Son of man, say to the Prince of Tyre, you have said in your heart you are a God, but you are a man. You will ascend your throne above the clouds and be like the most, above the stars in the heavens and be like the most high. And he said other stuff as well, but there's a few different things what he said to himself. But God was reading his heart, because God reads your heart, so he knew what he was saying. So basically what he was saying, he's going to make his throne and stand above the clouds. The moon is a sign in the heaven, lying signs and wonders, what Jesus was talking about. And a wonder in the heavens, sometimes the Queen of Heaven, the Egyptian queen, if there's a prayer to Isis, she's called the wonder. Yeah, so she could be what the signs and wonders in the last days. So the wonder in the heavens would be the Queen of Heaven. So to get to the basically point, signs and wonders, both of these things are in the Catholic religion. So the Maya in 900 disappeared off the face of the earth. The Maya and the Inca used to file their teeth down and make them pointy and elongate their skulls by binding their skulls together. And they worshipped a god called Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. He was a serpent. He's the one that was cast down on his belly, and he changed times and laws and stuff, and he taught them how to build pyramids and do human sacrifice and drink blood. It's the same old story. If you were a detective and you weren't listening to the lies of the priests and stuff, and you were trying to solve the murder of truth, you'd be led to the same Quetzalcoatl serpent cult. But what happens periodically in South America with the Quetzalcoatl cult, who used to be called Kulgan, is they just fucking disappear off the face of the earth. They're gone. And they're saying that they don't know what they happened. But if you look at pictures of Quetzalcoatl, you can see him sitting down, eating the Maya and the Inca. And they're all sitting down having a munch. So what the scholars say, there's a couple of different theories about what happened to the Maya and the Inca, but no one really knows. They do know, because they drew pictures and they fucking left them. We have the pictures of them. Him and the children of Cain fucking at them. So you're getting stitched up now as well by the Catholic cult. The biggest cult that ever existed is the Catholic cult and the Church of England and all of these cults, because you have churches. Churches did not exist in the ancient Hebrew world. King David burnt them down. And he was over here burning them down as well. King Callahan, his name was Callahan over here, or Athelstan in England. Or he was burning down churches, because you're not supposed to have churches. So basically, because you become accustomed to them, you think they're normal and they're right. They're not. You're getting stitched up like Quetzalcoatl, like the Maya were a few hundred years ago, because you build a temple, it's idolatry. You have rosary beads, you pray to the Queen of Heaven, and there's loads of idols and statues. So you say repetitive prayer, you call a priest father, it says call no man father. They keep removing his books out of the Bible, one book every generation, one book every generation, one book every generation, until the true history, because the prophets were told the truth and to write down the true history of the earth. The fact is far more stranger than fiction. The true history of the earth has been hidden from you. Slowly but surely, it's like you had a big jigsaw, and every generation they take a piece out of that jigsaw. You're only left with 4 or 5 pieces. You can't tell what the jigsaw says, you just have to take someone's word for it. Usually it's a priest. A priest is a lying piece of shit. He's probably even a paedophile that gets up on children. There's a special judgment in the book of Enoch. It's another reason why they probably removed it, for people that sodomise children. They are fucking in big trouble. There's destroying angels preparing destroying weapons to destroy them and to torture them for eternity. That's why Jesus said it's better for those who sin against the children to have a millstone put round their neck and be cast into the sea. So basically the lying signs and wonders is the moon and the Queen of Heaven. So basically we're being stitched up like the Maya. So Jesus basically warned us. He says, look, he says, if those days were not short, but for the elect few, there would be no flesh left upon the earth. If we in the Western Hemisphere, or in any part of the hemisphere, continue to have temples, which is idolatry, it's you'll not lift a tool upon a stone. If you lift a tool upon a stone, you have polluted it. We're losing their spiritual protection. That's what happened to the Maya. God took away their spiritual protection. Quetzalcoatl come down and fucking at them all. Yeah, there would be no flesh left upon the earth. The same is going to happen to us. We're still a cult. Cathedrals, churches, mosques, synagogues, and all of these things made of stone. Hindu, Buddha, Sikh, they're all religion. They will get you eaten by Quetzalcoatl, because in the last days he comes back and he munches up, and then the fire and brimstone comes down on the earth, it's destroyed, and those who get their new bodies go to heaven, and the rest of you are fucked. That's basic English. Fucked.